with a catch left side. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
Strength throwing the football downfield has never been an issue for this big guy. I still remember the first time I met him. He was playing for USC, and when I got introduced to him, I thought I was meeting their starting tight end.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Charles Johnson in there to get him for what will be a loss of 13 yards. On second down, here's Palmer. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. Jordan Reed was the intended target. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here.
When you see passes knocked down by those guys I call the frustrated fullbacks, the linebackers, you know that in their zone coverage, they were able to drop, see the ball thrown, and react to it very quickly.
And that is incomplete. So 17 seconds now on the clock here. So on 4th down, here's Jake Shum to punt it away. Too much mustard on that one. It hits a couple yards into the end zone. A missed opportunity there maybe to pin him back. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And the ball backed way up. So thinking with this amount of time on the clock, probably just sit on it, and we'll see these two teams go to the lockers.
Yeah, I don't think you want to overthink it in this situation. Either side of the ball. Just
into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Harrison Smith. And he is out of bounds just a yard or two shy of the 30. Now the Jets offense about set to take over as they head onto the field. And with great field position here, chance for some points before the break.
That's prime real estate. Just have to decide how they want to try and take their shot to try and put those points on the board.
So we've reached halftime with the visiting Jets on top. As we'll send you down the coast to Orlando, where we check in with our friend Larry Ridley and the EA Sports Halftime Report. Larry? This is fielded at the goal line. Oh, look at that.
Oh, look at him turn.
And a nice job there on special teams as he's taken down at the 14-yard line. And New York set to take the field. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. They go back to the ground with Smith. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. At 5 yards on the play there, as the drive will continue.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football.
And he fumbled it. It's on the ground. And it's picked up by the Steelers. And they'll take over inside the 45 at the 44-yard line. Now we take a glance. To the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. And last time, one-play interceptions, so this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling, because a one-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people think the very next time out, run the football, don't give them a chance.
Maybe play action?
I think maybe you go play action, show your quarterback, get a little confidence in him, and let him fling another one.
Here, where? And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. Only a gain of a yard, but that's all they needed, as that's going to move the chains.
2nd and 1, and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the first down.
That is caught at the 7. And they do stop him, but he takes it all the way to the 2. And now a first down following that long gain. They've been struggling in the passing game. Do you like the aggressiveness there? I mean, it worked on that play, but do you like it?
I do, because a lot of the time
you're pushing and fighting his way in for a Steeler touchdown. Spencer Ware taking it in from a yard out. And the Steelers are able to cut into that deficit. And they're able to run it in. It started with a battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how are we going to slow down this running game, because on that particular play, they had no answer.
This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. New York set to take the field. And they had the fumble last time that led to a touchdown. That's a no-no. We'll see what they do here this go-around.
A big no-no. Put that in capital letters. Turning it.
And he can't get away from the pressure. Palmer sacked. Terrell McClain with a great push up front. He picks up the sack and a loss of 8.
Here we go. Blue 58. Deep. Regular.
Palmer will throw. Surveying the field. Looking deep downfield. Looking for Green, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the free safety, Eric Berry. And his crew will take over at their own 45-yard line.
That was a really nice interception. I think it illustrates the differences between playing man and playing zone. When you're in man, all you're focused on is the receiver in front of you. But when you're in zone, you're allowed to read the quarterback's eyes and go to the ball. That's exactly what happened on that play.
Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
Wasn't that long ago that the NFL guys really didn't adopt much from the college game. But one thing that has crept in there is spreading things out, opening things up, not even just in tempo, but maybe getting better line splits and spreading the field. I think that would be a great strategy right now to try and open things up in the run game.
The first down line at the 34 here on third down. Defense sinking pass. They've got the nickel set out on 3rd and 6. Now back to throw. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
This has been a really nice day for the defense. They've made it so difficult to find open receivers because they're able to squeeze the passing lanes down. A lot of what they're doing is communicating. Receivers in one area, receivers in another area. They're almost what they call passing them off from one defender to the next, even in zone defenses, and making it very hard to find an open spot for the quarterback to deliver the ball.
This is caught by Jackson. And he's going to be taken down, but not before reaching the 15-yard line. And we're back now in Charlotte. It's the Steelers with the football, but trailing here as we get going in quarter number 4. So after that big gain, let's see what else the offense has up its sleeve. Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
I hope I don't sound too rah-rah on that one, but that's the exact right throw. Either your receiver gets it or no one gets it. Give him a lot of credit for being really precise with it.
Got rid of it. No one got it. Jackson's got it over the middle. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. It's a 10-yard gain there, and it sets him up now 1st and goal. They go play action here on 1st down. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete.
So many offenses want to include their running backs into their passing offense and be able to swing the ball out or check it down to them. But sometimes those guys are just not as comfortable catching the ball as they are running it.
Looking to throw. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by the linebacker, Sean Lee. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. They'll run it here with Smith. And he'll get this up past the 5 to the 7-yard line. He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4. The 4th quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
It's a loss of 2. Now 3rd down. They tried to run the counter, just that the defense wasn't fooled.
And when they're not fooled, you see the end result. Because what you're doing there, you mentioned the counter. You're using your offensive linemen sometimes to pull or move, to influence the defensive front, to go in that direction and create the space back in the other side and block it appropriately. But you're exactly right. Didn't move him. Sat there waiting for him and made the play.
Here we go. Blue 95.
On the ground, this is Smith. And he's brought down. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs.
And that run was what a lot of people call an explosive run. Gave them good yardage, solid yardage. They feel good about the whole thing, and they did it behind a two tight end set. It's always interesting to watch what offenses want to do with the two tight ends. Sometimes they line them up together for a power set. Sometimes they put one on each side of the line of scrimmage to balance things out. No matter what, though, when you see two tight ends on the field, your first thought is to think of run. In this case, the offense was able to run successfully.
They come up in an offset eye. They'll run it now with Smith. It's a foot race. The 30. And a cutback left and a crease here. And all the way in. Touchdown, New York. A great play there. 70 yards. And the Jets find a way to stretch their lead. And those are the highlight reel runs you dream of right there.
When he gets a seam and just gets through it, how about the explosiveness, the burst to get there to begin with, and then once he's in full gallop, good luck trying to track him down.
And those plays so demoralizing for the defense.
Absolutely, because you've done so much work trying to keep people in front of you. When they're past you and behind you, that's a tough one to swallow.
Out comes the Steeler offense now, ready to see what they can do here. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in a game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
To the right side, he's got Cooper. It's complete. And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. 15 yards there on the catch and run.
It's a nice completion, a little bit of run after catch as well to create the yardage that they got. But it is so tough to cover that route, the drag route, because they run it at varying speeds. Because the key is to create hesitancy on the defender's part.
Always so empathetic for those DBs, aren't you?
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
He'll look to throw. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. A great read, and it's picked off. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line. Now the Jets offense gets ready to head back on the field. They come into enemy territory, and I don't care what the matchup is in the National Football League. You're up like this late in the game on the road. This feels pretty good.
Oh, it feels fantastic. Anytime you get a road victory in the NFL, that's a big-time accomplishment, and to do it this convincingly, that just tears up the script that every home team has, which is nobody comes into our house and pushes us around. They took care of business today.
Yeah, they pushed around, and now the final stages of this one. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. It's a 10-yard pickup, and it moves the chains. And a new set of downs here after picking up the first on the ground.
Well, I'd say that run's pretty emblematic of what we've seen all day long. No matter what they've done on offense, this offensive line has controlled the line of scrimmage, given them time to throw it, run it, do whatever they wanted. That's why there are points up on the board. And right now, the psyche of the offense, we're in control, and we can do whatever we feel like doing out here on the field.
Let's go, let's go.
They'll give it to him right up the gut. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains. And you know, winning is good for all the obvious reasons. But if for nothing else, it makes tomorrow's film session a little more palatable, doesn't it?
Oh, indeed it does. Sometimes it helps you in the grading because the coaches will look at it, and if it's a borderline play for you, if you won the game, you might get a plus in your column instead of a minus.